Previously on Dandies in Danger.
Mr. Keen has just asked Liam and Adrian to tell him about Zachary Wilkos. I'm inclined to believe that Mr. Wilkos is one of these practitioners of magic, so what I would like is for the two of you to tell me why I should believe that it is not your friend Mr. Wilkos who is behind every foul thing that has been happening in this house.
Mr. Wilkos is not the problem.
This arrived at my offices. It is a copy of the pamphlet for Holloway Manor. On the back, there is a missive. Holloway Manor is afflicted. Please help expose the danger to the public before more go missing, or worse, before more return home again. Please don't alert the church.
Well, I would imagine this is from Mr. King. He told us about your investigations, and we said we would endeavor to work alongside you.
How would you like to reconvene in my room after the gentleman's bath hour, and then we could compare notes on what I've found exploring the house with locked doors, and you could tell me if you find anything in the rest of the house or speaking with any of the other guests.
Can do.
Mr. Keen reaches out and clasps your hand.
Hi, my name is Eli, my pronouns are he, him, and I play the voice of Zachary Wilkos.
Hiya, my name's Cass, pronouns she, her, and I voice Liam Bardsley.
Hi, I'm Chess, he, she, they, and I voice Daniel Pritchard.
Hi, I'm Toast, pronouns she, they, and I play Adrian Edwards.
Speaking of Adrian Edwards, let's jump over to Liam and Adrian. We have just finished up having a conversation with Mr. Bentley Keen. Unless there's anything else that you wanted to say to him, I'm going to jump us ahead to where we have shaken hands with him, and then we've left the room. Mr. Keen goes back downstairs. What would you like to do?
Adrian's going to look at Liam and say, well, what ought we do now?
Well, we told Zachary and Daniel that we'd be speaking with the staff, but now Mr. Keen is going to be helping us with that, and so now we are sort of freed up to do a little bit more investigation. I'm partying, as it were.
Exactly.
Wait, well, Adrian, what about earlier? You didn't really tell us much with Miss Campbell. What was it that she was shouting about? You know, give her back to me. What did she have to say about that?
Adrian stares at Liam, and he blinks, and then he goes, oh, bloody hell, buggeration. And he gets down, he crouches down on the ground, and he puts his little fists in his eyes, and he goes, I forgot to ask. It didn't even occur to me.
Oh, it's Adrian, it's all right, it's all right.
My God.
Liam kneels down next to him. It's like, it's all right.
You had one job.
What did you ask her then?
I think I asked her why she was here, and if she brought any references when she started her job.
Well, do you want to go back and ask her again?
No, I don't. I don't think that'll be productive. She really wasn't very forthcoming.
No, I'm embarrassed.
He's got his little head in his hands, and then he pops his head up and he's like, wait a moment. We do know this Leonard Underwood fellow was speaking to her. Perhaps instead of going back and speaking to Miss Campbell, we could locate this Mr. Underwood and ask him a few questions.
That's true. We do happen to know that he's not who he says he is, so perhaps we can suss a few other things out about Miss Campbell and what's going on at the house. Do you know where he's gone off to?
I don't know how much Adrian would have noticed of the Colonel taking Mr. Underwood away while he was clinging to Molly's legs. Can I just assume that he'd be like, yeah, I think he left to his room, or...
Give me a wisdom roll.
22.
Yeah, fantastic. 22 is plenty good enough for you to deduce that Mr. Underwood has probably gone back to his room, the one that he is sharing with Colonel Marshall Gurney, since the two of them agreed to bunk up upon the arrival of Rosamond.
Then he conveys that and says, the Colonel will probably be there, but we could still perhaps say that I am a doctor and I'm just trying to get further information about Miss Campbell.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a fantastic plan. And then, well, hopefully we'll have something better to report back to Daniel and Zachary. At the very least, we could tell them that we've got an ally in Mr. Keene.
Yes, a tentative ally. I think I made him quite put out.
I think you rather did.
He looks abashed.
But it's all right. You've had a long day. Come on, let's go.
I have.
I think I recall his room being up on the 2nd floor. And so we depart. We have to go through the echoing staircase to get up to the 2nd floor. As we're walking, Liam actually pauses in the stairwell and takes a hold of Adrian's elbow and says, "Now, wait a minute. Speaking of a long day, hang on, look at me. And he actually takes Adrian's chin to turn it towards him so that he can look at him.
My God.
Oh.
He blushes. What's going
on? You poor thing.
What's happened?
Well, your eyes are quite bloodshot. You had to wake up quite early to go out with me today, didn't you?
Before 11 a.m.? Yes.
Liam, let's go of your chin.
Adrian kinda, I don't know, he rubs it.
He wasn't like aggressive about it.
I know, but he touchy him so personally.
He says, as they continue walking up the stairs,
Liam says, are you feeling under the strange effects of this house?
No.
Are you quite yourself? You look at me.
How do you feel about the word duty?
What does Adrian do whenever he says, look at me?
He's too short to comfortably grab his chin, so he takes his little
You
lapels.
can reach his chin.
Yeah, but
he's not.
I don't know. I picture him like 3 feet tall.
No.
Okay, well, then I guess he does. He grabs his chin, but not in a delicate way. He does it where he just kind of like squishes his cheeks. He's like, you look at me. And he checks his eyeballs to see what those look like.
Liam's eyes are also a little bit bloodshot.
Your eyes are also bloodshot. Seems you've had a long day as well. You know, actually, I forgot about this, and I don't know when I'm going to get the chance to ask you, but while I'm thinking about it, how have you been emotionally? Because I was supposed to ask you.
Now, wait a minute.
Where are you having this conversation?
We're walking up the stairs. the echoey stairs. Yes.
Liam decided to stop and stare deeply into Adrian's eyes.
They're walking again. They're walking again.
And then Adrian made it weird.
Liam didn't make it weird.
He called him a poor thing.
That's kind of romantic. And how Adrian's like, hang on, I have bloodshot eyes? You have bloodshot eyes. You tall freak.
How are you coping with the murder of a man?
Wait.
He doesn't say that.
Like, okay. All right. Liam says, no, I object to this. No, wait, Adrian, I was the one who started off on something here, and you must let me finish it. You must let me finish it, Adrian.
What are you after? What are you after? What's going on?
Please, they're so awkward. Oh my God.
Liam pulls Adrian's hand down, and he's holding his hands so that he can't grab him again. So he's holding his hands. I'm trying to apologize. I've been thinking since the carriage... I
didn't mean to say it was terrible, Liam. It wasn't terrible. I didn't mean to say it was terrible. I just meant I was tired and miserable, which didn't have anything to do with your company.
Edwards, let me apologize. I took you around all day long. I took you along all day long, and without a thought for your well-being, I took you to so many shops, just purely for my own enthusiasm, and now we're here solving something else. I really should have stopped you from encouraging us along here because we might be in some danger here. But I just wanted to say that I am very sorry for not having considered, your feelings more while we were running around today and just taking complete lead on the whole matter. So that's all. I just wanted to apologize and just get that out there. So shall we go off to Mr. Underwood?
Adrian looks at Liam and he's blushing quite profusely and he says, oh, well, I mean, it's no need. It's most people can do this sort of thing every day of the week. Well, perhaps not the dangerous he whispers dangerous partying in a strange house part, but it's quite all right. It's fine, but thank you. Thanks.
Well, I just wanted to have it said. And in the future, I'll make sure that we spread that sort of thing out. If you still want to, accompany me shopping, we'll make sure that it's more spread out.
Well, thank you. I don't know if we can always predict when we will be swept up in adventure, but perhaps not a 5-hour shopping session.
Perhaps not. As good of a rule as any.
I'm sorry for grabbing your face.
Oh, I don't mind. It was fine.
He doesn't mind.
Shall we?
Yes.
They have now, having walked very slowly up a single flight of stairs, they end up on the second floor. Liam will recall from the sheet in the dining room that Father Underwood and Colonel Gurney are staying in the Marigold Room. And so we are going to exit from the stairwell by the east door, and we're going to walk down the east hallway towards the end. This is the room at the very end of the hallway, the very long hallway, so towards the south end of the building. Tell me, how is Adrian approaching this? Are you just, like, walking at a normal clip? Are we skulking along?
I'd say he's walking normally, attempting to be surreptitious, just checking to see if any other doors are open as they walk down, just to know if anyone else is around.
On this side of the hallway, you already know which one of the rooms is. That was the Amethyst Room. And then you will also pass by the Lavender Room, and that door is open because that is Adrian's room. So we're going to walk past Adrian's room. The next room down towards the south, the door is closed. And then after that point, as we get towards the end of the hallway, that door is also closed, leading into the Marigold Room.
Okay.
Tell me what Adrian does as we get to this closed door.
Adrian holds his hand up to knock and looks at Liam just to double check.
Go ahead, roll a d20 for wisdom. You.
Me? But
roll.
What? Okay. 17.
Yeah, that's great. You can hear talking on the other side of the door.
Okay, then I guess I will pause momentarily and see what I can hear.
Do you indicate anything to Liam?
Yeah, he has his hand up to knock, and then he opens it up as like a wait, hang on gesture.
Okay. I'm going to give Liam his last witness for this, because he will nod to Adrian, and then he actually is going to lean closer to the door, not actually putting his, whole head on it. No, he doesn't put his big giant head on the door. That's not pointed.
He doesn't knock his noggin against the knob. I get it.
He just sort of leans forward and listens through the door. He can hear half of a conversation. What he hears is, "I'm sorry about the pretense, Marshal, but I was so worried about her. In this line of work, you never know if somebody doesn't show back up home again, and so, no, you don't need to explain anything to me. It's quite all right. I understand being very concerned about your friends. So I think it's very noble of you, actually, to be so concerned on her behalf. But I think all you can do now is just relax. Just, take it easy for the rest of the night. I mean, she seems to be... You saw that doctor went up after her. So I think everything will be fine now. I do wish I could believe you on that, but she's just not acting like herself at all." And so Liam will whisper into Adrian's ear. He'll get close to him and I'll say, "It sounds like Colonel Gurney and Father Underwood are having a discussion about Molly."
Adrian gets the fucking shivers because Liam is like literally right up in his ear hole, and he goes, "Yeah," and he pokes him.
"Now might be a good time."
Yes, I think so. I'm going to knock.
So this is when Adrian has discovered that ASMR works on him.
He straightens up. He knocks on the door.
You hear a little bit of commotion on the other side. "Be right with you, yes. Be right there."
Put a shirt on, Leonard.
You hear a little bit of commotion on the other side, and then Colonel Gurney greets you at the door. He's standing at attention. He says, yes, Dr. Edwards, as it turns out."
Oh, yes. Might I come in with my associate?
Sorry. Liam looks at him for a second with that a little quizzically, but then, just nods. The colonel squints a little bit and says, "Can we help you with something?"
"Well, I have just been to see Miss Campbell, as you may know, and I had a few questions for Mr. Underwood about her behavior. I believe..."
I don't know why you would come talking to Father Underwood about her behavior. What has he got to do with it?
I believe he called her name when we were in the ballroom, and I just wanted to compare notes with the gentleman to see if I might suss out a few more details.
Let them in. Let them in, Marshal. Colonel, let them in.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, they're absolutely.
And so the colonel looks a little bit nervous over his shoulder. Then he he's going to look at Adrian and Liam, and I'm going to give him a roll. Altogether, that is a moderate success for what he did. So he's still very uncertain about the two of us. But he will stand aside and let us in. And he is standing, when I say at attention, he has got his hands behind his back and he's watching us very closely. He's very much prepared to go into a protective mode, you get the idea, as he's standing there. So we enter.
Adrian tries to have a little levity and he goes, at ease, Colonel.
That's cute.
Go ahead, give me a d20 roll and add your influence. Let me see if you've got anything with him already.
I've got something with him because we joked
but
at
I think
dinner.
it's still just for perception and things. So you are
Oh, yeah, he liked your fart
amicable.
joke.
You are amicable with him.
Only 11.
That's a moderate. So he will smile at you and give you a short little nod, but he does not relax at all.
Okay.
And now you see that Father Underwood is sitting. He's just sitting at the edge of the bed. There is, in this room, much like many of the other rooms, there's a 4-poster bed. The theme in this room is marigold, so it's very vibrant colors. The curtains are in vibrant colors as well. There are 5 windows in this room. All the curtains are drawn closed. So there is one window that is facing south. It's a fairly large window. And then there's 2 small windows on the east wall and 2 small windows on the west wall as well. There's much the same furniture as what we've seen in other rooms. There's a mirror, there are stools to sit on, there's a big darkwood wardrobe, there is a marigold rug on the floor, also a wash basin. So, Father Underwood, he's sitting there, sitting on the bed.
What does his state of clothing look like, if I might ask?
He's clothed.
Well, yes, but did he have a
little
priest
dog collar? Yeah.
Did you say dog
That's
collar?
what they're called.
Oh, okay.
They're called
They're
dog
literally-
collars?
Yeah. Pretty.
Are you the
Yeah, and you
dog
wonder
of
why
God?
people I guess.
Dog is God backwards.
Hmm.
Give me your perception if you want to take a closer look, if you really want to squint at this guy.
Sure.
They can't be called dog collars.
They are. They are.
The church decided that?
I don't know who decided it, but it's common now.
It's kinky.
Yeah. 9.
His hair looks a little disheveled, but I'm going to say that that's all you can really glean from a mediocre. You did see
Can
that
you
he
call
was...
it moderate instead of mediocre,
No, I'm sorry.
please?
Sorry, a moderate. With a moderate, you can tell that he has been distressed.
Adrian comes in and he says, good evening, Father. I came to ask you a few questions about your acquaintance, Miss Campbell.
Yeah. Well, she's a parishioner, of mine, and I hadn't seen her, and so I was quite concerned about her, so I came to check up on her. I am surprised to find her here. Can you tell me anything about how she behaved whenever you went to look in on her?
Well, she did seem rather dazed. Can you tell me, has she ever had any of these sort of episodes before? Violent episodes?
No! Good grief, no. She's been, well, you know, a little sour sometimes, on some days, but never violent like this before. It's really not like her at all. And I'm quite concerned about why she might be here.
Well, what she told me is that she felt she belonged here.
Yes, she did mention that to me as well. She said that it was her duty to work here now.
Could you perhaps elucidate something for me? When she first came into the ballroom, it seemed she became quite distressed and began shouting about something she was trying to get back, or someone, perhaps?
I remember. I dearly wish I could help you, but I was hoping maybe you could tell me. She doesn't, really have anyone in her family. She has me and the other members of the church, but she has no relatives that I know of, and she speaks quite freely with me, so I don't know. I know she came here with... He hesitates because now he's afraid he might be giving away too much. She came here with an acquaintance, I believe, but...
Yes, she mentioned him, and didn't seem to know where he was, which was also quite unusual.
Yes, that's all she told to me as well.
So what you can tell me is she's behaving unusually, and you don't know why she's here.
I can't.
Has she experienced any sort of loss?
Well, who hasn't? Sorry. No, not recently, I don't think. She just seems so apart from herself. And is there nothing more that you could tell from your doctoring?
Well, Adrian looks a little side-eyed at Liam. As far as I might be able to say in my professional capacity as a doctor, it does seem that perhaps she might be under outside influence of some kind.
I knew it. Were you invited here by Lord Bush?
Not directly. We received a flyer.
Of course, yes.
Were you directly invited?
No, not me. I came here to look into Miss Campbell. She had told me she would be coming here, so that's why I came. But I have not personally met Lord Bush. Liam turns to Colonel Gurney and says, "Have you met Lord Bush?" No, I can't say that I have. I know that Edwin fellow has. He was
Really?
quite loquacious about it, yes.
Well,
But-
that could be a little fib on his part, I don't know.
Yes, well, I'm afraid I'm just here for the restorative waters.
Did you receive a flyer?
Yes, well, yes, I did. And he looks at Father Underwood briefly and then looks away and says, "Yes, I received a flyer."
Leonard invited him.
Yeah. Right. Well, and he looks at Liam one more time, and then he leans over to Father Underwood and he says, "Well, between you and me, I think there's something fishy going on here, especially after speaking to your friend Miss Campbell."
Yes, if we knew more about this Lord Bush person, you say that she's hired here now?
Yes, she just started as staff. No references or anything, I don't think.
No. Well, perhaps Lord Bush is holding her here, against her will. I would far more believe that than I would that she just chose to come here without coming back to church to tell us about it.
Yes. One moment while I consult with my colleague here, and Adrian draws Liam aside. Liam, how much do you suppose I could give the game away?
Liam thinks back to their interaction with Mr. Keene.
It doesn't matter what Liam says. Adrian's going to decide how much game he gives away.
This time he's asking.
Wow, good. Good job.
He's learning.
I don't think we want to bring up anything supernatural just yet with these two, but I am a little bit concerned about their well-being.
Can I tell them we're investigating?
Perhaps if we frame it in such a way that we're here and that you're interested in helping Miss Campbell, perhaps we can have them share some information with us if they find anything related to Lord Bush.
Okay.
Should we warn them to be careful after midnight? Or is that too revealing?
I'll see if I can slip it in.
All right. You've been doing splendidly so far, Adrian.
Yes,
Oh,
the
sure.
master of subtlety, Adrian Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then they straighten up.
Yep, and turn around.
This is so cartoony.
Yeah.
Father Underwood, and Colonel, I believe this would involve you as well.
Yes, my child?
Well, it would seem to me, as I said, there's something quite strange going on in this manor after witnessing Miss Campbell's episode, and honestly, that Mr. King fellow who is our host seems rather unwell.
Twitchy.
Yes, that is a good description for it. It concerns me, as a doctor who is concerned about the health of people, that something strange might be going on, and my colleague and I here, and a couple of our other acquaintances, have taken it upon ourselves perhaps do a little bit of looking around while we're here, as perhaps our civic duty. You, as a man of the church, as of the cloth, I'm sure, would understand a sort of, well, not duty. He stops. Anyway, service to people, I don't know.
The Colonel's actually nodding quite fervently about this.
Mm-hmm. But I think it perhaps might be we're looking around. We're trying to figure out what's going on in this house. And I was wondering if you would perhaps be interested in joining us.
You know, I think you lads might be onto something here. I think that there is something very poor afoot here, something not quite right, as you say, Dr. Edwards. So we will keep our ears and our eyes open.
Quite good, Colonel, quite good.
Yes, where should we find you if we do happen to, stumble upon some information about this Lord Bush fellow?
Well, the men's hour in the bath is going to be soon, if possible. Oh my god. There's a mirror in here. We've been talking the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Fuck.
I was gonna bring that up, but I didn't know if I didn't know if the mirror could hear or if it was only sight.
Adrian literally stops in the middle of his sentence and looks at the mirror for a second, and then just powers through. The men's bath hour will be soon, and perhaps we could reconvene then with any information about what's going on.
Dr. Edwards, it is very kind of you to take an interest in Miss Campbell's situation. I am somewhat speechless. You're a doctor and a gentleman. Why would you help us?
She was unwell. There's something not right. And so you do something usually when that happens.
Yes, but if it's blackmail, that's usually not a cause for a medical doctor to get involved.
Well, if it's blackmail, they're doing something as well to her physically, which has made her unwell. I saw that nosebleed. I can't stand the sight of blood, ethically. So something must be done.
The Colonel really likes this. You're definitely going up in the estimation of the Colonel and also with Leonard.
All right.
Okay, so you are now... Actually, you had been up to amicable with the Colonel.
All right, cool.
Now you are up to allies.
Woo!
You are fully
Wow.
allies.
That's
with
weird.
He's allies with an old man?
Yeah, a dad-shaped man.
Whoa.
Well done.
That's so
I
weird.
feel like we've really progressed Adrian's arc here.
Yeah.
Liam is riding on your coattails. He is going to boost up with these people too.
Nice.
With Leonard, you get boosted up to amicable. And for Liam, Leonard is interested. So, jumping back in. Well, I have to say that I do appreciate your help, Dr. Edwards. I was feeling quite overwhelmed about Miss Campbell's state here, so bath hour it is. We'll let you know if we find out anything about Lord Bush.
Yes, do be careful. You don't want to be caught snooping around, just in case.
That's true. Colonel Gurney sort of shrugs a little bit and kind of waggles his head ever so slightly and says, well, covert operations, were a bit of a specialty of mine, and that plus code breaking. So I think we'll be quite fine when it comes to things like this.
James fucking Bond over here. All right.
Very good.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and understanding, and like the good doctor said, we do want to keep things a bit under wraps as we look around, so we'll talk to you again at the bath hour. Liam's going to turn to leave, unless Adrian has more he wants to say.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen, and considering you're somewhat, no offense, I'm a doctor, harried state, Father Underwood, I would suggest after bath hour an early night of it.
Yes, thank you, Doctor.
And perhaps you could look after him, Colonel.
They both start nodding. Yes, I'm sure we can manage something like that.
Alone time?
Very good. We will reconvene in however long that amount of time is.
I would say it's about 15-ish minutes now.
Okay, you've got about 15 minutes.
Okay, so we leave. Well, as we're walking
We're
away.
in the hallway.
Yeah.
Adrian turns to Liam and grabs his coat and he's like, Liam, I totally forgot about the mirror. I forgot about it the whole time. I was thinking about it as we knocked and then I got distracted and I forgot.
Well, hopefully we were only seen and not heard. There's nothing...
Do you think?
Listen, there's nothing wrong with us going into another room to speak with other guests.
Just a couple of chaps?
Just a couple of chaps talking to another couple of chaps.
Yes.
I feel like it'd be more suspicious if we walked into the room and then tampered with the mirror this way we just are acting normally.
Right. And I'm the
Yes.
doctor. I'm a doctor, so
Right,
that's
exactly.
fine. Yes.
Exactly. So I think we're fine. Obviously,
All right.
we'll probably want to do something about the mirrors in our room whenever we get back, but I think you're fine. Don't worry about it. You did marvelously, Adrian.
Did I?
Yes. Where off to now?
Well, I have one open sesame. Should we peek around?
Mr. Keene did mention locked doors. Shall we have a look around?
Yeah.
Liam kind of gets a little excited, and they're actually right next to the door that was in between the marigold room and the lavender room. And so he kind of like reaches out and tests the door,
Liam.
and it just opens, and he's like, oh, okay. And then he closes it again. Not that one. We don't need to use it there.
It's a bedroom. It probably would only have spying things. We're looking for something a bit meatier.
Quite right. Liam says, well, actually, down on the ground floor, whenever we were in that great hall of portraits, there was also a statue, and on either side of the statue was a locked door. Daniel tried it, and it didn't open, so why don't we try there first?
Ooh, finally an answer.
All right. We make our way down. We'll have to use the echoing stair to get down to the first floor. And as we continue to walk along down the echoing stairwell, we do hear some footsteps coming up.
Question, is there any other trace of the stains, or is it just the painting that Nathaniel left?
Thank you. That is a very good question. I should have addressed that as we came up the stairs the first time. The staining and the letters that we uncovered had all been painted over.
Okay. Adrian's going to say, I certainly hope Mr. King went somewhere with some good ventilation to clear his head after all of that.
I hope so too. He seems to be under a lot of stress.
Liam, I know we were a bit overwhelmed earlier, but do you think our red eyes are actually because the house is like doing something to us?
No. You woke up much earlier than usual,
What about
Adrian.
You're a very vital, healthy chap.
He doesn't sleep anymore since the murder.
That's exactly right. But what what Liam says is like, oh, I also woke up fairly early. I was
Excited about shopping.
I was very excited about shopping. That's right. I could barely contain my excitement, so I just woke up a bit early. That's all.
Can I do an insight or a perception on Liam, just real quick, while we're making our way downstairs?
Yeah, go for it.
Thanks. Haven't done one since the carriage, so...
Yeah.
22 again.
That's very good. He's lying. He's lying. He did wake up early, but that's normal for him, but that's not why his eyes are bloodshot.
All right.
So he's fibbing.
Okay, Adrian's gonna squint at him, but not say anything for now, but he's tucking that information away.
As you turn your face to keep walking back down the stairs, you do hear the sound of someone approaching you from below. And as they round this corner, it is Nathaniel King. Nathaniel, I will go ahead and I will say, because I'm generous, is wearing a new brooch on his cravat and is carrying a bowl of soup on a tray. He doesn't even look surprised to see the two of us wandering around anymore. Gentlemen. And he doesn't spend much time. He turns and he walks out onto the first floor landing here and walks away with his bowl of soup.
Who's he bringing that to?
Probably Emily.
Oh, yeah.
If he walks away, he's just gonna say, "Good evening, Mr. King," and keep going.
All right. We continue down the stairs and we get to the ground floor just in time. We exit out of the west-facing door and we come out right as Edwin Flynn goes barging out of the parlor. And he looks at you, Adrian. He's just full of this indescribable sort of like cockiness, but also frustration and anger. And he just looks at you and leans back a little bit. So, Dr. Edwards, how's the woman?
Doctor-patient confidentiality, I'm afraid.
Yes, of course.
I don't imagine you would have that much interest anyway.
No, quite the spectacle, though.
Yes, I did notice you stood to watch.
Rake him across the coals.
This is lovely. Let's have you do sort of what Daniel did in the last episode. Go ahead and roll a d20 plus your influence, because you are being sassy.
A12.
That's actually not bad, because Flynn rolled lower than you. I was going to see if he could maybe try to turn that around to be a little intimidating, but he rolled lower than you. He's just going to kind of scoff, roll his eyes like, why even bother? And then he's going to turn to walk away up the grand staircase. Liam pipes up at this point. A moment, Mr. Flynn. I believe you said that you were acquainted with Lord Bush, didn't you? And now I'm going to roll for Liam and add Liam's influence. That was a failure.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Edwin stops and turns and smiles and says, well, yes, I suppose you wouldn't have had that opportunity, though, being the son of a banker, practically in trades. Then he's going to turn and start walking away, although I have a suspicion that Adrian is going to want to say something to that.
Yes. Oh, God, what's he going to say? Don't know what he'd say aside from fuck you.
I'm going to give you 10
Your
seconds.
neckbeard
I'm
sucks.
going to give you 10 seconds to decide if you're going to say something starting now.
Fuck, wait, no. Wait, pause, that's not fair. He's just going to cough and say, bastard.
Let's see if Edwin hears that. He got a moderate success, so he only heard you cough, so he's going to turn around and say, bless you. And then he's going to keep walking back up.
I'm surprised he even said that.
Adrian glowers at him, and he makes some sort of rude gesture behind his back.
Liam snickers.
Flicks the under part of his
Adrian
chin.
says, don't listen to him. He's an utter bastard, obviously.
I appreciate your defense, Adrian.
Given the chance, I would slap him in the face, not just the hand.
That is very kind of you. Well, shall we carry on into the Great Hall?
Yes.
Okay, you can walk in through the doors that are in this main foyer area here, the double doors that lead into the Great Hall. I want to point out that all of this back and forth is probably happening simultaneously to where Daniel is delivering zingers to Sylvester.
Yeah, just behind different doors.
Behind different doors, yeah. Okay. You walk into the Great Hall, and you can see everything that Daniel and Liam, and then later on Zachary had seen. You see the portraits up on the halls, you see the large mirrored ceiling, you see the, stools, the decorative vases in the corners, you see the statue on the other side of the room, the little cutout up above. And the only thing that's different here is that over by the two double doors, you see that there is a member of the staff, one of the ladies, who is standing by outside the door.
Oh, is that just where the baths are? Adrian says.
Oh, I suppose that does make sense. You'd
Bloody
want something
hell.
like that on a lower floor, wouldn't you, because
Yes.
of the water?
And I imagine that's an attendant for the women. Oh, balls. Well, should we find a different locked door?
Yes, I suppose that would be
He
good.
points to the ceiling. There's a huge bloody mirror here anyway.
Don't, Liam, reaches
sorry.
out and, touches, smacks his hand
God.
to
No,
keep
I
him
was
from
ju-
pointing at it.
Just admiring it, just admiring the decor. You don't see that very often.
That's true. Makes the room seem rather larger.
Yes, stare into it, you'd get dizzy.
Good
Lose
for
your
him.
footing.
Well, shall we then just start looking for locked doors here on the ground floor?
God, I guess. I feel so lost and useless.
Well, I guess let's give it a try. And now, go ahead and roll me another d20. You can add wisdom to this because we're going to see if we can be kind of combining our knowledge of the rooms that we have independently explored to figure out where the gaps are.
Another 22.
I'm glad you scored well on that because Liam got an 11. So,
Okay.
we determined that aside from the baths, there is one room on this floor that we have not explored. In the northeast corner of the building that, for the listeners, this is the room that Zachary attempted to enter through shadows, but was unable to do so successfully. So, that's the last room on this floor, aside from the baths, that we have not explored yet. And so we can leave out through those big double doors again and start heading towards the mystery room.
Let's do it.
So as we go through, we can cut through the stairwell and then just pass through to the other side. But as Adrian goes ahead and walks through, as Liam is about to walk through after him, he hears a voice from behind him. I say, Mr. Bardsley, wait a moment, won't you? I have a word I want to share with you. And Sylvester T. Higgins comes out from where he was recently chastised by Daniel Pritchard, and he bustles across the foyer to catch up with Liam.
Oh, God.
Sylvester comes over, and he slaps a big hand on Liam's shoulders and says, I have something I wanted to talk to you about this evening, as a matter of fact. You're just the person I was looking to see. And then he just kind of bustles Liam forward through the hallway here. Oh, hello.
Pardon me?
Mr. Edwards. I hope you won't mind if I just take your friend for a moment.
Well, we were conversing ourselves already.
He's going to say, oh, well, I won't take but just a moment of your friend's time here, and then I'm sure you all can carry on. I just have a little bit of, a bit of business to talk about. So,
I don't know.
We're actually just going to pop through here, and he has Liam by the shoulders, and he is walking him towards the breakfast room, the one that Daniel and Liam had been in earlier. And he's like, just a moment, Mr. Edwards. He's just sort of pushing Liam forward.
Does he do anything if Adrian tries to follow him?
Yeah, just tell me what you're doing.
He trails after him because he's like, excuse me, we were in the middle of doing something. That's my friend.
Well, I promise, Mr. Edwards, if you just wait just a moment, we shan't be long at all. And Liam suddenly kind of stiffens just ever so slightly, very, very minutely. And he says, yes, Adrian, why don't you go carry on without me? You go first and I'll catch up with you.
Partying?
Yes.
On my own?
Yes, I'll just be right behind you.
Okay.
And then Sylvester T. Higgins walks through into the breakfast room and closes the door behind him and Liam.
Okay, Adrian goes to the door and listens in.
I'm going to use your last witness token. So I'm going to proceed with what Adrian hears through this door. With that witness token, you'll be able to hear basically everything that's going on in here. So, now, Mr. Bardsley, you are quite a lucky man. I didn't want your friend, Mr. Edwards, being too jealous about the opportunity I'm about to offer you here, because I have a few very special investments that I think you would be particularly interested in. And now, this is a very exclusive opening for you right now, and for the Bardsley Bank, in fact. And so I was thinking, for sort of a paltry sum, you could get in on the ground floor, as it were, which is where we are. Very appropriate, on the ground floor. Pretty good, I think. And so I think I'm going to stop you right there. I'm so sorry, Mr. Higgins. I believe there's been a bit of a misunderstanding. If you want an investment from Bardsley Bank, you'd be much better off, I think, taking the usual avenues. Speaking with my father, going through the managers at the bank. There's, several branches around the area. Just everyone, I'm sure, would be happy to speak with you in the offices on a weekday. No. I think you've perhaps misunderstood me a little bit here, because I think you in particular would be quite interested in this sort of investment. Well, see, that's too bad, because I'm not really in charge of that sort of thing. Oh, I beg to differ, Mr. Bardsley. I heard that you recently made an investment to the Church of the Eternal Knighthood. Just a little bit of money gossip that's been going through the mills a little bit here, and it was quite well received, in fact. So well received that I think your reputation as a bank is doing quite splendidly right now. I have to wonder how the reputation of the Bardsley Bank would fare if they found out that the banker's son was Catholic. Liam is quiet for a moment. I don't quite know. Why don't you be more plain with me, Mr. Higgins?
Can I do something?
You can do anything you want.
Okay, Adrian throws the door open.
Liam looks very uncomfortable. He looks quite pale. His body is kind of tightened into itself, very nervous.
Okay, Adrian storms in and he goes, Mr. Higgins, Is this the behavior of a gentleman? What do you think you're about?
What are you about?
I heard you, sir. What do you think? Sneaking around, whispering in rooms, making threats towards another gentleman?
Well,
Because you're low
nothing-
on money, because all of your investments fail and your boat caught on fire?
Well, excuse me, sir, but I'm not saying anything that isn't entirely true. And what are you going to do, the washed-up son of a newspaper magnate?
Ha ha ha, that's where you're confused. That gives me the power to be completely rude to you. You leave this room immediately. I would request that you never speak to my friend here again. You have no business with him, and if you're not careful, I'll retrieve my glove and slap you across the face.
You wouldn't.
I would.
Look at you.
He's checking his pockets. I absolutely would. You're being completely untoward, and if you think you can talk to my friend this way, you've got another thing coming.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I just told you I will slap you in the face, and if I can't find my gloves, I will use my hand. You saw me earlier.
Go ahead and roll me a d20 with advantage.
I love this so much. I love this.
A modified 20, thank you.
Yeah.
The first one was a natural 1.
Oh my god. He's teetering in two extremes right now.
That's right. I'm going to say that you two are nose to nose at this point. His mustaches are quivering
Adrian's
with rage.
hand is raising in the air.
And then he looks at you, and then he loses his nerve. He backs off, and he says, well, I won't accept conversation like this. I simply won't. Not when I'm here to have a relaxing evening. I won't stand for it.
Well, excellent.
A very good evening.
Oh, thank you. I hope that you're too tense to relax later.
I hope you don't enjoy those baths.
And then Sylvester T. Higgins stalks away.
Adrian wipes his hands like, and he turns to Liam.
I love that.
Liam is looking at you with a sort of an indescribable expression on his face. You can try to parse it out if you want to, do a perception on that. But he's just sort of, he's smiling and he's got his head tilted a little bit. That depends. Do you want to do a roll on that or just leave
I'll
it
just
as
let it be. And he goes, Are you quite all right? I can't believe that man. What does he think he's trying to do?
I was in quite dire straits there, Adrian. You rather rode in like a knight in shining armor.
Well,
I mean it. And he stands up from where, he had been seated, and he crosses the room to put a hand on your shoulder, and he says, thank you, Adrian.
Well, you're welcome. I will not stand for someone speaking to you that way. You're the most gallant gentleman I know, and he has no business trying to pry into your personal matters.
Liam is blushing a little bit, and he puts a hand up to cover his mouth, and then he turns away and he says, well, I think we're getting a little bit closer to time, so shall we try to reconvene with Zach and Daniel?
Yes, I suppose we'll just have to skip the doors for now.
Oh, no, you're right. We might have just enough time to go look.
Okay.
Let's have a peek. And so you can continue to traipse along down the hallway back towards the door that you had determined before. Are you going to try the handle?
He's gonna listen first. 15.
Okay, a moderate, no sound.
Well, he's gonna try the door to see if it's still locked.
It is locked.
Okay, then he's going to look at Liam. He's got his little ring on his finger. He puts it on the door and he whispers. He leans towards the handle and he goes, "Open sesame."
And there's a small click.
He very carefully and slowly pushes the door open.
Liam and Adrian step over the threshold into the room of Lord Howard Bush.
What?
Liked what you heard? Let us know by using hashtag #DandiesInDanger over on our Twitter, Insta, Tumblr, and TikTok in the listed links below. We'd love to hear any and all comments, questions, and theories as to where the story might be headed. Want to support us and our lads' adventures more directly? Then please consider clicking on the link and becoming a patron today. For just $1, you can gain access to our longer, uncensored outtakes and blooper reels. For $5, you can have access to exclusive stickers, in-world letters written by and for the lads, poetry by Adrian and Daniel, and original music from the show composed and scored by Chess Albanese. Can't afford to support directly? No problem. Podcasts survive by word of mouth, so if you like what you heard, tell your friends, family, and local graveyard ghosts all about these exciting tales. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Dandies in Danger is written and voiced by Elijah Bergateres as Zachary Wilkos, cast as Liam Bardsley, Chess Albanese as Daniel Pritchard, and Toast as Adrian Edwards. It is edited by Toast. Original score and music composed by Chess Albanese. It is produced by Dandies team and made possible by listeners like you.